If you're watching this video, then chances are you have money, or at least someone around you has money, because someone had to pay for that iPhone 16 Pro Max that you already managed to drop. Or are you watching this video on your Stuart Hughes Prestige HD Supreme Rose Edition TV? If you actually are, then I'd recommend maybe spending your money more wisely. In fact, why don't we take a dive into the financial corner of YouTube and show you how money works? Speaking of money, help us make money by hearing from our sponsor, Raid Shay. Yeah, we don't have a sponsor, but if you'd like to support us for free, then just give us a like or a nice comment or even subscribe. Not just to us, but to our YouTuber we're covering this video. Thank you to each and every one of you. Okay. So who even is the YouTuber of this video? Well, we actually already said who. Can you guess their name out of the last 171 words? That's right. We're talking about how money works. The YouTuber, I mean, not the exact ways money works. We'll leave that to him to cover, to make sure you hear it from someone more informed. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back to the beginning of how money works and take a look at his trail of receipts. First off, this channel wasn't originally called How Money Works. The original name was Compound Daily. The birth of Compound Daily was on December 19th, 2018. And the first ever post was made April 28th, 2019. That first video was titled, "Is investing in wine better than the stock market?" It brings up an interesting question that not many people tend to think about. There is this stereotype about people's first YouTube video being awful and perhaps even cringe. However, Compound Daily started off right if you ask us. This video has nice infographics, transitions, pretty solid information. His mic isn't too bad, and the video doesn't overstay its welcome. He even has an old Pastebin link in the description showing his sources. And it says the name Compound Daily. It wasn't until his 9th video titled, "Yes, Money Does Buy You Happiness," even beyond $75,000 per year, How Money Works, posted February 5th, 2021. This would be the first time using his current name. He even says in the video, "Welcome to the first video made by How Money Works." The interesting thing is that from that point on, his videos went from tens of thousands of views to hundreds of thousands, if not millions. It seems that from 2019 to 2021, he finally cracked the YouTuber code. One can dream.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
When it comes to the creator of How Money Works, not much is known about him. The only solid information we found about him was from this podcast back in 2023 titled Darren Soat, The Problem with Finfluencers and Why It Won't Get Better Anytime Soon. Rational Reminder 276. It was posted by the Rational Reminder podcast. We find out that the man behind the money is named Darren Soat. Before making it big on YouTube, Darren worked as an investment banker, so he was always talking about money and learned a lot about the market. However, he doesn't often make videos related to investing in the stock market or what to invest in, like wine, for example. A lot of his videos are about the macroeconomic state of things all around the world. Take his recent video about Australia, for example. He also talks about corporations and their CEOs, other creators online, more specific markets like the automotive industry, and a bit of personal finance. Darren doesn't want to be known as a finfluencer, which are financial influencers that range from somewhat misleading to straight up scammers. He even made a video about finfluencers, and not even 2 minutes in says really good advice that personal finance should be boring and that you should be able to fit the most important financial advice on a postcard. If you read the card he shows on screen, that is pretty much the foundation of what you should know. He also wants to educate people about predatory practices online.
But, a big motivation of what I'm trying to do is, dispel a lot of the myths behind maybe, the side hustle culture, get rich quick schemes, stock picking, really in order to encourage people to make better financial decisions. And ultimately, I'm motivated out of the fact that I really, really hate seeing people lose money paying $500 for a course.
Before Darren got off the ground making YouTube videos, he says he was working 90 hours a week on banking work, and whatever free time he had was spent on YouTube, which would explain why he uploaded so slowly his first couple of years, only posting 3 videos his first year on YouTube. Here's what he had to say about that time period.
But, for the most part, it was incredibly difficult. It was actually some of the most stressful times of my life.
We're happy that Darren doesn't have to work his banking job anymore to live comfortably. These days, he works on 3 other channels. The main one's called How History Works. Maybe we'll be back to talk about them more another day. He also has a newsletter he named after his old channel name. Before we forget though, why don't we quickly cover his channel stats? First off, his channel has grown to over 1.32 million subscribers, with 248 high-quality videos on his channel. He also has 50 shorts for you busy or short attention span folks out there. His overall view count is impressive, having over 185 million views on his channel. The video that's collected the most views on How Money Works is called Your job achieves nothing. Probably. How money works. It's a video calling out that many jobs exist for a business to look more profitable, but ultimately achieve very little. A sentiment apparently many people seem to agree with. He also makes a video every week, which is more or less the standard on YouTube. But for the amount of research and editing that his videos take, it's impressive to post so consistently. I think we've given a pretty decent description about how money works. So let's hear what some of his viewers have to say. YouTube recommendations had never reached this point of quality before. Very important, nuanced take. Great stuff. This is just what I needed today. A moment of unvarnished honesty amidst the non-stop gaslighting. American. At least we aren't Canadian. Canadian. At least we aren't Australian. Australian. At least we aren't British. British. At least we aren't German. German. At least we aren't American. That last comment wasn't really about the channel, but was at least entertaining, right? But now, the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time to play What Did They Score? It's been a while since we scored someone, so let's cover the rules. There are 15 stars in 3 categories. Each category has a total of 5 stars to earn, and the goal is to earn as many stars as possible to show your total quality content score. The 3 categories are as follows. 1. Editing. 2. Consistency. 3. Online personality. First off, with editing, I think it's reasonable to give How Money Works a solid 4 stars out of 5. The editing is very clean. The visuals used are good, the character cutouts are often comedic, and the sound effects are very fitting with the motion of the video. The reason it does not have the full 5 stars is because if we examine his most recent video at the time of writing this script, you may notice towards the end of the video, the background music gets almost so quiet you might not even hear it unless you have a headset or your volume is pretty high. This alone is not a big deal, of course, but I think the video would also benefit from occasional subtitles to emphasize what is being said. Besides not being super fast-paced, extremely complex editing, those are really the only 2 specific improvements we have to say. It should be said that the editor for these videos is Vice 5 Multimedia Studio, so this is more about them. On to consistency. This is going to have to be another close 5 stars with a score of 4.5. Long story short, Darren has been posting financial related content for years and has been posting every week for well over a year now, so we can expect his next video to be soon, and some topic about money with a video time around 11 to 14 minutes. However, there are some small things that add up. His topics are all related, but they also vary quite a bit. He might be talking about a country, a company, old people, young people, and so on. Overall, it's not that different, but something to note. Lastly, we have online personality, and we actually added online to the personality score, since we are only judging what we see online and don't know the creators we rank personally. So this was just a way to make it less personal. Anyway, Darren scores 3 out of 5, which isn't a bad score. His personality does show in his narration and through the way he covers topics, but there really isn't much interaction between him and his viewers. For example, the only time his face and name were even used was on an entirely separate channel. His videos don't allow him to diverge too much from the topic at hand. We kind of just see the more professional side of Darren, even if the writing and editing is entertaining. This brings the quality content score to a total of 12.5 stars out of 15. But we want to know if you agree with the Why Subscribe score here. If not, then feel free to leave a score in the comments and let us know who you want to see talked about next. Make sure to subscribe to Darren to keep on learning how money works.